Hey guys, what's up? Spectre here, and this is definitely going to be an exciting video. You might know me for my Skyrim content, my highly curated list of mods for console, or even my player builds, maybe even my gaming news updates. But today I get to sort of mash them all together as we discuss some rumors surrounding the next installment in the Elder Scrolls franchise. Let's jump right in. At the top, I'd like to remind everyone that these are rumors and speculation, but for concrete information, make sure to get subbed so you don't miss out on any details moving forward, and even check out my existing Skyrim content. But first, a bit of a setup from Todd himself. Speaking to our friends over at IGN, he stated that the studio's focus would be on Starfield first and foremost, before switching to the Elder Scrolls. He also confirmed that the Elder Scrolls 6 would not be launching on Xbox One and PS4's console generation. In that interview, he also stated that he and the team wanted to create a game that people would be playing for a decade at least, so get ready for more remasters and ports. He also said that we'll understand why there was such a gap and why they waited for the right technology to bring their vision to life. So all we do have of the game so far, in a concrete sense, is that small teaser trailer. And many, including myself, had hoped that with the cancellation of E3, we would see some sort of digital event from Bethesda, but on April 1st, Bethesda's Pete Hines put those hopes to rest, stating that the studio would not be holding a digital showcase in June. But he did promise that Bethesda has lots of exciting things to share about their games, and that they look forward to telling us more in the coming months. However, I'm convinced that those coming announcements will be about games like Starfield and their other title that's kind of gone silent, Deathloop. But we do get a glimmer of hope from another source. Recently, some have noticed a job listing at Bethesda Game Studios, looking for a, quote, talented programmer to join our team that is pushing the bleeding edge of RPG development for the PC and consoles. With Starfield already being years into development, it would be odd for them to begin this search now, leading some to believe that the heavy lifting for Starfield is done, and Bethesda may be assembling the team members that they need to build Elder Scrolls 6. But now let's move from more concrete sources into some speculation and some rather interesting leaks. Recently, a Reddit user by the name Todd is My Mom took to the site to post a lengthy leak-filled post about both Starfield and Elder Scrolls. However, for the sake of this video, we'll stick to the Elder Scrolls section, which I've broken up further into smaller sections just to keep it simple. The leaker, who claims to work closely with Bethesda Game Studios, shines some light on the supposed setting of the game. According to Todd is My Mom, the game will be set in High Rock and Hammerfell. This is in line with much of the speculation following that teaser trailer. However, the leaker claims that what we saw in that trailer is in fact Yokuda, the archipelago remnants of the Redguard's homeland. The leaker alludes to the work of Mark Jones from Battlespire and claims that this game will follow in the footsteps of Arena and Daggerfall with a more D&D fantasy feel, sticking closer to a typical medieval fantasy but with a unique Elder Scrolls style. This alleged D&D fantasy-styled game will revolve around Doreni Tower, also known as the Adamantine Tower. Apparently, the Thalmor will be involved, trying to take advantage of the growing tension between Hammerfell and High Rock. They go on to say that a lot of the quests will revolve around political intrigue between the in-game states, as well as advancements in magic. Those advancements also mean that magic in the game will be given a bit of an overhaul. Apparently, Bethesda is going to take some design cues from someone my regular viewers will be familiar with, Fenderix. Alteration will apparently alter reality, allowing you to pull up giant spikes from the ground, open locks, disarm traps, slow people down, mend armor and weapons, while Illusion would allow players to change NPCs' perceptions of them, or even allow players to appear as someone entirely different to an NPC, even hypnotizing them. According to Todd is My Mom, Restoration would give players new sunlight-based spells that can blind enemies, stun, or burn them. Destruction would allow you to imbue your weapons with elemental damage and more. Even some levitation for those Morrowind fans who miss it. Procedural generation rumors began to circle not too long ago, which the leaker refutes, claiming that quests will be handcrafted as they've always been. They instead claim that Bethesda is working on a Radiant quest system on steroids, as they put it. As time goes on, NPCs will fall into trouble and need your help, in a system that's built upon the Radiant AI system from the Oblivion era. In the vein of Red Dead Redemption 2, NPCs will have jobs, earn a wage, and have schedules independent from the main narrative. But who will you be playing as? Well, there's no official word on that yet, although it's probably safe to assume that we'll be playing all the usual races that we've seen in every other installment in the series. The leaker also references Todd's interview with IGN and his comments on how we don't have the current technology to deliver those experiences that Bethesda's envisioning. According to the leaker, Bethesda intends to create a world with 0 loading screens outside of dungeons, the player home, and fast travel. Every city will be open and to scale without loading screens before entering them. This comment makes me a bit skeptical when again you see games like Red Dead Redemption 2 already in existence. The author of the leak post also goes on to detail a supposed crafting system. Apparently it'll be somewhat similar to Fallout 4. Players will allegedly be able to modify weapons to suit their combat style. They gave an example of adding spikes to a mace for bleed and armor penetration effects, or making a sword a bit longer, with a hit to speed, but a buff to damage, or cosmetic choices like adding horns to armor. Guilds and factions will also receive an overhaul in Todd Is My Mom's supposed sequel, with longer and more varied quest lines. That would of course benefit from the Radiant quest system. Another big addition would be a vampire guild or faction, with different kinds of vampires in the vein of the great houses of Morrowind. Each house would operate differently. Now, this is a reminder that everything from this Reddit post is not confirmed, and it is a rumor that should be taken with a grain of salt, quite a few of them. But this is where it actually gets interesting, and there are things that I can verify. They go on to discuss changes to vampirism in the Elder Scrolls, one that's in fact been implemented in the upcoming Elder Scrolls Online expansion. But it's something that he couldn't have known at the time of posting. As some of you may know, I played the Greymoor expansion a bit early thanks to the lovely folks at Bethesda who gave me an early look. I gave my thoughts on that update and early gameplay in a video that you can view at the end of this one, or by clicking in the top right now. During the brief presentation that they gave us prior to letting us into the game, the folks at Bethesda told us that vampirism in Elder Scrolls Online would flip in its basic functions. Normally, players in Elder Scrolls would abstain from feeding on blood to gain power as a vampire. However, from Greymoor onward, this will swap, requiring players to regularly feed in order to ascend as a vampire, which is something that Todd Is My Mom included in his leak post. Again, he wouldn't or shouldn't have known that at the time of his original post. The bit about warring vampire factions is also interesting considering the game's existing Rivenspire lore, about righteous vampires who police the others across Nirn. This thread is also central to the Greymoor expansion that I played, lending just a bit more credibility to what is otherwise a super sketchy post. But I'm afraid that's it for this Elder Scrolls 6 rumor roundup. How do you feel about the supposed leak? Do you believe any of it? Would you be excited about this setting and story? Is there anything new that you guys want to see out of the series? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.